Conversations That Matter is a partner program of the Center for Dialogue at Simon Fraser University. The production of this program is made possible thanks to the support of the following and viewers like you.
Welcome. You know, Prime Minister Trudeau, when he was being sworn into office, was asked, why so many women in cabinet? And he said, well, after all, it's 2015. And it is 2015, and we see parity in cabinet, but we're not seeing that parity in the mining industry. How come?
Well, if you think about it, the mining industry started many years ago, and it's always been a male-dominated industry. It is recently that we've been trying, because of the shortage of labor that is coming up, that we've been trying to encourage women to join the mining industry and to make sure that they join not only in the roles that are easier to join, like communications, like human resources and accounting, but also to start thinking about becoming drillers, doing the trades jobs.
The work of mining.
The work of mining, exactly. And so women are always seen as, they may not be able to carry, a big drill machine. Well, these days they can. And there's people that are doing it. We train, women in truck drivers, we train women drillers, we train women to work in underground mines. We are using our workforce to the fullest potential. And Goldcorp is a company that really wants to continue to attract and retain all this women potential that we have, because we want to make sure that we have the workforce that we will require in the future.
But what are some of the strategies that you're employing to try and attract women to the profession? Because, as you pointed out, it's perceived as being very hard, dirty, underground work.
You make it
sound
nice.
So appealing. Yeah.
Yes.
Sign me up right here.
Okay, so we're doing, at Goldcorp, we're doing many things. Like, for example, we support a lot of the universities and the mining programs. We support the UBC mining program. We support the STEMS, division of UBC. We get involved with Catalyst. We get involved with Minerva Foundation. We may get involved with any potentials that we see outside that we can, help individuals, female individuals that want to be attracted by the mining industry. On the other hand, we also internally have developed a program which I, spearheaded about 5 years ago, called Creating Choices. Creating Choices, how did it come to be? Is when I joined Goldcorp, which was Wheaton River Minerals in the acquisition of Goldcorp back in 2005, I started to travel into the mines. I went back to Brazil. We had mines in Brazil. We had mines in Chile. We didn't have Argentina yet, but Alumbrera was in Argentina, and in Mexico. And so I thought, what changed in me coming to North America? And I started looking at my life and thinking, what these women need is they need to be encouraged. They need to be developed. They need to be trained. They need to know what the potentials they have inside that they don't know. And so I created a program called Creating Choices. The program consists of 6 modules. It teaches you how to build your self-esteem, how to use the power of your voice, how to dream. Women forget to dream. So it teaches you how to dream, how to take the stage, when it's important for you to make that decision and raise your hand and say, I'll do that. It teaches you how to behave yourself as a leader, how to make other people see you as a leader, And so once I did that program, I invited all the women at Goldcorp to participate, and I'm glad to see that today we have graduated over 1,200 women in the organization through the program. The program was so successful that we have developed the second part of the component of the program, which is the development side. So the training is about your self-esteem, is about your dreaming, is about taking the stage, is about having those powerful conversations. And then you go into the second part of the program, which is Growing Choices. And Growing Choices builds on the skills and the tools that you have learned in Creating Choices, but it goes a little bit deeper. Like, for example, how to set your career and goal objectives. How to, have a work-life balance, which is something women struggle. Mm-hmm. How to brand yourself. Some of us don't even know what brand means, and how we have that power to brand ourselves. And then how to make those powerful connections and seeking your sponsors and your mentors in the organization or outside of the organization. People always ask me, how many mentors have you had? How did you find your mentors? Well, in my lifetime, mentors was not a word that it existed when I was growing up and when I was going through my career. So I will say to those people, a lot of the times the sponsors and the mentors find you. And they are those individuals that you turn around and say, so-and-so sometimes gives me a difficult time. He pushes me all the time. He's always challenging me. Well, that is a mentor. Mm-hmm. That is somebody that knows that you have a potential and that you have not realized the potential that you are capable of giving to the organization. So they are pushing you, so then you can take the stage and you can say, yes, I can do it, and yes, I will take that job.
I got to get you to hang on for just a second while we take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Conversations That Matter is a not-for-profit program made possible thanks to the charitable support of the following and from viewers like you. Please visit conversationsthatmatter.tv and help us to continue to produce this program. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about your experience then, because it sounds to me that the curriculum for your Creating Choices program has been an extension of your experience.
Yes.
Did you enter the workforce going, I'm not sure, lacking some self-esteem? And then how did you address that to start to overcome it?
Yeah. Well, when I moved, for me, my biggest challenge was a cultural adaptation. And for me, remember, I grew up in South America, where basically, I was groomed to be, yes, you can have a career, but you're groomed to be a housewife. So I wanted to leave all that, and I moved to North America. And when I arrived in North America, I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I worked for a financial company and listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And I had wonderful mentors, which now I know they were my mentors, but I didn't know.
They were pushing you.
But I didn't know at the time. And they were pushing me. And the funny thing is, they were pushing me in something I didn't know I was capable of doing, and it was law. I started in this company, and I was in, doing work with the NASD, and then they pushed me into the legal department to manage a family of mutual funds. We had 15 mutual funds that I was responsible for blue sky law and all the regulations and all the filings requirements in the United States. And I really liked it. And so when the opportunity came to us to immigrate to Canada, because in the States we only had work permits, when we immigrated to Canada, I came to Vancouver and I found out that it was a mining town, where, not because of the mines, but because it was the capital raising for, the biggest capital raising for junior mining companies. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh God, I know nothing about junior mining companies. But I also knew that there was a Vancouver Stock Exchange, and I knew something about the New York Stock Exchange. So I thought, okay, I can find something to do there. And then I heard that companies, a lot of the companies do an IPO. And so then I thought, okay, IPO, law firm, I know about law. So my first job in Vancouver was at a small boutique law firm where I learned about technical reports and the mining and what mining companies do and drilling and exploration and how they raise funds to become a mining company later in the future.
So was one of the most important components there your fearlessness in a way of saying, this isn't what I've done before, but I've done this and it will apply and I know I can do this. Mm-hmm. Whereas I understand that a lot of women, when they are stepping outside of their experience, say, well, I haven't done that before, so I'm not sure that I can do it. Yeah. How important is it to be able to say, I was a success here, and I know that I can be a success there?
To me, it's very important. To me, it's very important to believe in yourself and what you're capable of doing. A career, I could have become a lawyer, and that doesn't mean anything because there's a lot of lawyers today that are working as, in other, they're not really practicing law, they're just working in another environment. And so a career is sort of like the background, is that resource that you have if you need it, but what you really want to do, just life takes you. I don't think that there's anybody, there's a few people that say, I want to become a doctor, and they become a doctor, and they live as a doctor, and they die as a doctor. But there's a lot of us that we say, this is what I'm capable of doing. This is what I love to do. And, today it could be a financial advisor, and tomorrow it could be in mining. So it's just that you have to love what you're doing, and you have to take the opportunities in life, and wherever those take you, if you don't like it, you can always move and turn around to the right, right?
Well, if you have the courage to do it. For a lot of people, they go, you're asking me to risk my family, my home, so many different elements, and so they hesitate.
Yeah, but you have to come out of your comfort zone. And for me, the first time I came out of my comfort zone is when I moved from Peru to the United States. And the second time is when I came to Canada. And I arrived in Canada, and everybody was saying to me, you don't have Canadian experience. And I'm thinking, how in the world am I going to get Canadian experience if I just worked in the United States? So, give me a chance, so then I can have the Canadian experience that you need, so then I can, take that job.
I wish we could just keep rolling along here, but I got to take another quick little commercial break. We'll be right back.
Conversations That Matter is a not-for-profit program made possible thanks to the charitable support of the following and from viewers like you. Please visit conversationsthatmatter.tv and help us to continue to produce this program. Thank you.
What was the position that you started with the company, and where are you now?
At Goldcorp?
Yeah.
So I started working for both companies, Goldcorp and Silver Wheaton. So I was both manager of legal services and corporate secretary for both companies. When we acquired Glamis at the end of 2006, beginning of 2007, the work at Goldcorp started getting a lot more heavier, because we were growing, we were, doing a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and so then I stepped down from Silver Wheaton and just stayed with Goldcorp. And then after that, I became the vice president of regulatory affairs and corporate secretary. And about a year ago, I became vice president of diversity, regulatory affairs, and corporate secretary.
Now, did diversity get added to your portfolio? Because despite the fact that you're dealing with regulatory and legal affairs and so on, you are looking at a part of your industry saying there's not enough women, and we have to get them involved.
Yes. Yes, and it's not only about women. To me, gender diversity to me was very important 5 years ago. I think that I've moved Goldcorp to where we want to be today. So now we want to tackle diversity as a whole and be more inclusive.
So how many women have you attracted, and what's the percentage of the workforce within Goldcorp? How successful has the program been? I know that you say that there's been...
the program has been very successful. As I told you, we graduated 1,200 women from the Creating Choices program, and now we just launched Growing Choices this year in January, and we already have 350 women graduated.
Wow.
Yeah, which is, it's thanks to all the facilitators. I mean, there's a wonderful group of women that I've trained to become facilitators of the program. So the program is delivered at the mines, on site, at the times that are convenient to the women that work and are the operators at the mines and are working there. So we didn't want to start flying them out, and we didn't want to take them to other places that they feel uncomfortable. We wanted to just make sure that they are in their surroundings, and that the same people that are working with them are the ones that are doing the training. So that is very, very, it's very helpful.
So what's the size of the total workforce at Goldcorp, and
right
what's the
now,
percentage of women?
Right now, I think it's 11% is our workforce, according to our 2014 sustainability report.
11% are women.
11% are women, yes, which is not a lot.
No.
No, I know. But it is, but we have grown a lot, and from the time that I started. Now I should say, in our board of directors, we have 3 female directors, so that's 27.5% or somewhere around there. In our executives, it's 25% workforce. And then in the Vancouver office, I will say the amount of women and men working right now is very close to, I will say, maybe a 60-40% or 45-55%. So it's very close. Now, unfortunately, I can't say the same at our mines, but we are working towards that, and we're working to attract more women too.
So are some of the challenges still cultural, because many of your mines are not in Canada, and you're going to be in jurisdictions where there are still cultural beliefs that say, no, a woman doesn't belong in that profession. And then you add mining into the mix, which makes it even more difficult. And so how do we address that challenge and start to create opportunities that attract more women?
It's 2015.
If only it were that simple.
We are. I know. No,
Yeah.
I know. But it is changing. It is changing. I mean, you go, for example, to Argentina. You know, our mine in Cerro Negro. We have a lot of female geologists that are working for us.
Whereas 10 years ago you
Whereas
didn't?
10 years ago, you probably would have not have. Maybe you would have one. You know, but now we have, we have a group of female geologists. We have in our rescue team, for example, we have females in our rescue team. You know, before, I mean, I will say 10 years ago, you probably never saw, a woman in a rescue team, in a mine rescue team. In our Peñasquito mine, we have the majority of the women driving the big 960 Komatsu trucks. You know, which are. It's almost like driving a house,
Like as big as a house.
As big as a house.
Yeah.
The majority of them are women, are female, and so I'm very proud of that. And yes, we do have a lot of female as well in our corporate social responsibility departments and in the field. Environmental is another area that attracts a lot of female employees. I mean, in corporate offices, human resources, and all
Right.
that.
But to get out into the mine site is the fact that most mine sites are remote, and the work can be hard and cold and wet or hot and humid and dusty. Is that a deterrent? Is that one of the factors, or is it more cultural?
No, I don't think so. I think that is. I don't think that is a deterrent. I think that probably the facilities could be a deterrent. Like, the fact that if you're working underground mine and if that particular mine doesn't have proper, facilities for you to go to the washroom, for example, or there's one area and that's it. That could be something that you think about it,
Right.
and then you say, do I really want to do this? But there's so many communities now around the mines. There's some of our mines are fly in, fly out, which sometimes is very convenient for some young parents that will like to, have the opportunity to work for 2 weeks and then come back home and be, with their child for the other 2 weeks or whatever the shifts are. So it all depends. I think that it all depends where you are in your life. What stage, and do you want to have the experience, and are you willing to make the commitment?
This is our last break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Conversations That Matter is a not-for-profit program made possible thanks to the charitable support of the following and from viewers like you. Please visit conversationsthatmatter.tv and help us to continue to produce this program. Thank you.
So what are the benefits to a woman who would be looking at mining versus, let's say, even just like engineering or mechanical engineering? They go, well, I can work on that construction site, I can work on that mine. What would you say to them to say, here's why you should consider a career in mining?
It's your drive. It's what do you like. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that you can do, and yes, you can take the easy route, and you can go and work at a construction site here in Vancouver, and then you will be an engineer in construction. Or you can challenge yourself, and you can say, I want to go and work for a Peñasquito mine in Mexico, and I want to be an engineer at the mine for a couple of years, and because I want to learn the language, because I want to learn the culture, because I want to learn the people, and because that will make you more marketable at the end of the day.
It's challenging work, and women,
Totally.
even if we want to say, okay, you are not predestined to just be a housewife, you can have that career. Women are still,
Oh, definitely.
the people who bear children, and so all these things have to come into consideration.
Yeah. Oh, I was just in my hometown in Peru, and a lot of my friends who went to university, got a degree, they just take care of their families.
Yeah.
They don't have that drive that wants to do something else with their lives. And, and it's great for them if that's what they choose to do. All the best.
A woman entering the mining field at the moment might say, okay, but the numbers are far more men than women. What's the access to middle management, senior management, and beyond if I'm starting here as a geologist or I'm working in the mine? What are my opportunities? Are they opening up to me? Or do I have an even better opportunity because the numbers right at the moment are skewed so heavily towards men?
I think that for us, what is important is the skills that you have. You know, I don't think that we don't have targets, we don't have quotas, so we don't have to tick the box and say, oh, we're going to give the opportunity to this individual because we need more women. To us, it's very important that we have a skilled, workforce that knows what they're doing. And so I don't think that you will get the benefit of being a female or a male in case of a promotion. However, I will think that if you love what you do and you're doing a great job, you will be noticed and you will be promoted and you will have the chance to move up in the ladder.
So you feel pretty optimistic about where it's going and the opportunities that exist for women.
Yes.
Based on skill.
Yes, and I feel also that there's a lot more women now entering, the STEM careers, and so we are going to be seeing a lot more women engineers, a lot more technical, individuals that are females, and I think that is going to start, and they're going to start sharing their stories, and they're going to start sharing, the lives and what they have learned, and to me, it's just so nice to be able to work in different countries and work as part of a global company that can send you to different, jurisdictions, and you can learn all these things and then come back and possibly apply for an executive position.
And you're going to be there cheering them on.
And I will be there cheering them on.
And I gather you plan on creating even more programs that will give women the insights and the skills that they need to be able to progress through their careers.
Yes, I've been thinking about the third component of the program already. And
are you willing to reveal what that is?
I want to call it Future Choices. Mm-hmm. And why Future Choices? Because, as you know, a mind has a lifetime. Right? And so what happens after that? How can we prepare you to be able to finish a job in a particular, jurisdiction and then look at what opportunities you have? So I'm thinking about, adding a little bit of entrepreneurship, so then people can create their own jobs. I'm thinking about, teaching them a little bit of finances and how you get, money, so then they can, consider starting a new job or mortgaging a house or something. And I'm still thinking about what else I need to put in that component, so then we can train our women and make sure that when we leave, they will be sustainable for their future.
But you said earlier that gender isn't playing a role in whether or not you can be accepted, but what you're doing is trying to create those tools that will allow women to have the resources they need to realize their full potential.
Exactly.
And that's really what we want for everybody, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming in and sharing this with me.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
Okay.
Yeah, a pleasure.